blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay. So. How'd you know what I was going to say? Was that better?
I think I liked it better before because it cut off my forehead, which cut off my receding hairline.
No. No. Okay. This is good.
Is that a blooper you're going to keep?
Maybe. Maybe you're okay with that.
Yeah, fine.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I don't think I can do this with you.
I didn't even say anything. Do your thing. You want
I
me to,
know, but it's
do you want me to stand over there?
No. Okay. Hold on. This is gonna be harder than I thought. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Jill here with At Home with Jill, and this is my husband, Rich. You can say hi.
A man of many words.
Yeah, he is, really. Okay, so today's video is a collaboration with some other YouTube mamas, and we are pretty much interviewing our husbands with a list of questions for homeschooling dads. So make sure after you watch our video that you go down into the playlist and watch everybody else's. And the host of today's video is Tiffany over at Blessed Bayers. So definitely make sure and check out her channel. She has tons of amazing homeschool content. And why are you looking at me?
I'm looking at you there too.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, let's just get into it with the list of questions.
I have not seen these questions yet.
Oh yeah.
I tried to get Jill to tell me, but she refused.
He tried to pry these questions out of me for the past couple weeks, and I would not. I wanted him to be like put on the spot with these questions and have sincere answers, not something that he like was able to think about or anything like that. So
is that how it was for the other husbands too?
Probably. I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know if everyone did that. So anyway, this is going to be his first time hearing these questions, okay? So, question number 1 is, how long has your family been homeschooling?
I guess as long as Cade's been alive, right? I mean...
Pretty much. Yeah.
But he didn't start at 0 years old, so...
Right.
So about 4 years then? 4 or 5 years?
I'd say it's about right. Yeah.
That was an easy one.
Question number 2. Before you ever considered homeschooling...
Should I be yelling like you?
I'm not. Before you ever considered homeschooling, what was your opinion of it? It's okay to be honest.
No, I'm just thinking like how far back? I mean, if we look back before I even had kids, I would think that I thought homeschool...
Before you ever considered it at all, before it was ever like, oh yeah, we might homeschool, like before that. Like when you thought you would never homeschool,
okay, so
if you did.
When I made assumptions about what I thought homeschool was without knowing what homeschool was, I thought it was a less adequate way to educate your children.
Okay. Yeah. Me too.
Do I just end it there? Or do I go into what I think now?
You can elaborate. Well, let me go into number 3, and this will probably tie in with that.
Okay.
So number 3 is, did you have any reservations about homeschooling before you started?
I guess the only reservation was really, will my wife be able to do it? I mean, it's a lot of work. It's a huge commitment, but it's hands down, in my opinion, one of the best investments on your most prized possession, which is your children. So, I mean, you can't really, it's uncomparable to anything else really. But yeah, I think that's what I was probably most nervous about is, will Jill have the patience and everything like that to teach the kids? And I think she's done a wonderful job so far. So,
do I have patience though?
When it comes to most things now. But you do pretty good with the kids when it comes to school.
Your answer like made me almost cry, so.
Did it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that weird that you kissed me on camera?
No. Okay, so question number 4. What benefits do you see with homeschooling?
How long can I talk for?
Don't worry about that.
So there's you may need to edit some of this out, but there's really two aspects.
Talk to the camera.
There's like a secular view, and then we'll say a Christian view that I would look at homeschooling. The secular view is I don't think kids are really wired or built to sit still in one location for long periods of time. I think there is a better learning environment for them when they can wiggle, they can move, they can express themselves more, they can talk more. I also think it's a better environment for them to learn when they're not held back by the rest of a classroom where they can excel. For instance, Cade excels very fast in math. He is above and beyond where he should be on his level with math, and he's able to excel so fast at such a young age. They don't offer AP classes and honor roll classes at age groups for him, but he is able to excel because he is homeschooled. Also, a mom hands down knows her kids better than a teacher. Jill knows when it's time for the kids to go outside and play and get some energy out, and then they can come back in and learn better. It's almost like having a personal tutor, and that's really where a lot of the effort on the mom comes in, because she is a full-time personal tutor for all the kids. Learning how to juggle that, I'm sure, is challenging, but so that's kind of the secular view. As far as a Christian view goes, man, this is kind of a deep one right here.
That's okay.
So from a Christian standpoint, the world, if you understand that terminology, you'll understand what comes with that. But the world is going to be trying to drive our children away from the Lord to the best of its ability, to the best of His ability, if you get my drift. And school is the perfect environment for that. We don't know what our children are being influenced at school, and we can be naive. We can choose to be naive and say, "Oh, my children aren't gonna be tempted by that," or my child is not going to be doing this, or my children is not going to be have these friends that are going to influence them negatively. But the fact of the matter is that is going to happen. I mean, yes, God may protect our children from all that, but it is our responsibility to protect our children and to train our children. In Leviticus, it doesn't say give your children over to somebody who you feel is more equipped to train them. It says, parents, train your children. I think nowadays society is so convinced that we have to give our children over to everything for their training. We don't train our children really at all. We give our children to a school for their educational training. We give our children to a pastor, a Sunday school for their spiritual training. We even give our children to a coach for their team building skills and things like that. We don't really do much training at all anymore. We've heard stories. We've had friends that have been teachers, and they've told us stories of, I think, children as low as second grade being exposed to pornography in the classroom, where she had to take phones from children that was sharing these images with other children. And once that innocence is taken from them, it can't be replaced.
And that's Cade's age.
That is Cade's age. So I mean, there's so much to protect our children from, and I don't want you guys to think that is sheltering your children. I think it's important that that parents teach their children about sexual education as well, or parents are the ones that teach their children about
anything that's going to happen in the world.
Absolutely, and there's a time and a place for that teaching and that training. But if you look at the world's perspective, is they go to a teacher who teaches them about their sexual education, and then they eventually leave that teacher. That teacher is no longer in their life, and then they are faced with a real life situation, and they have questions. And they don't have the teacher to go to anymore, and they don't want to talk to their parents anymore because their parents think that they don't know anything about this because they've never heard their parents talk about this before. And so who do they go to?
Friends.
They go to their for lack of a better word, foolish friends. Now, children are foolish. That's there's no denying that.
All children, even ours. We're not saying,
Some children are more mature than others. Some children are more responsible than others. But as a whole, children are foolish and they make foolish decisions. So when our kids are going to following other kids for their advice, it generally tends to not be the best advice. So I think it's very important as parents too that we train our children not just educationally, but spiritually, and when it comes to those hard subjects that are awkward, like sex ed and things like that, which I'm actually getting ready to do with with our 12-year-old. So
yeah.
But anyway, so that's really it's protecting your children, not sheltering your children, you being the one that trains them, and them knowing that they can come to you with anything. Opening up that line of communication also, so they know they can come to you and talk to you about things. I mean, I've shared things about my past with my children, just so they know, hey, whatever you experience in the world that I've experienced, you can come and talk to me about that. That's part of training also.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So.
Reservation. Yeah, right. Okay, so question number 5 is, what do you think homeschooling has done for your relationship with your kids?
I think it's done a ton of good. I mean, our kids look up to us, I think, in many more aspects than they would if they did not homeschool. My kids are like my little best friends, if you will. I mean, I love spending time with them. We do stuff together. I mean, my life evolves around my family. I think homeschooling has helped really solidify that. I enjoy spending time with my kids. The kids look up to me. I just realized a lot of that answer probably had nothing to do with the question.
Still thinking about that.
But yeah, I just really think it helps with the relationship. The kids look up to us. They want to spend time with us. I see them as my best friend. I think they see us not only as their parents, but our best friends as well.
Yeah.
So it's really built not just a father-mother-child relationship, but also a father-mother-child friendship as well.
Yes, I agree. Because, like, if you think about what life would be like if they weren't homeschooled, I feel like with him getting home at the time he does, the kids would be, like, doing homework, and we'd be eating dinner, and they'd be, like, taking a shower or a bath or whatever to get ready for school the next day, and, like, having to go to bed, right on time to wake up the next, and it would just be... I feel like that's what our life would be, is like go. When would we have time to, like, actually spend quality time?
That's true. A lot more quality time together.
Yeah.
That just kind of sums it up in a nutshell.
Yeah. Question number 6. Do you teach anything to your children? And if so, what?
Academically, no. I guess spiritually, yes.
Science, kind of.
Science, kind of. I mean,
engineering.
I read to the kids, and I do Bible study with the kids. I believe it's a father's responsibility to be the pastor of his family.
Reading to your kids is actually making them better readers.
And they read to me sometimes, and there's a lot of hands-on stuff. As well, whenever I'm working on a project or doing something, generally Cade is always there with me, or somebody's helping me, or Lawson's right there too. The girls want to get involved as well sometimes. So I think having the kids help you with any project you have going on, yes, it makes it take longer. Yes, it can be frustrating sometimes, but it's so good for them to be hands-on with you and understand what's going on. With anything. I mean, sometimes there was one time I went and chopped wood, and Cade wanted to come with me, and we just talked the whole time we were chopping wood, and we were talking about the Lord and stuff like that. But I remember he stopped and said, "Daddy, I'm really glad I came down here and chopped wood with you, because of our conversation, because we got to spend just kind of one-on-one time together talking. Don't get a lot of one-on-one time with the kids because we have so many of them." Mm-hmm. But I would say that is training also. just whatever you're doing on your day-to-day, whether it's working on the car or doing yard work or whatever that may be. That helps.
Yeah, you're teaching them life skills.
Absolutely. That helps with...
He would rather be baking in the kitchen with the girls too. Like, I hate doing that. So, like, if he wants cookies, he's going to have the girls go in and help him make cookies. Like, so...
And that helps train them with other things. That teaching somebody shows them how to also teach others.
Yes.
Real big with, especially with the boys, about being a leader and everything like that, and being patient and being able to teach others. And that's one thing we see with Cade too, is he takes the time to teach others how to do things. And Lawson's even doing that now as well. Mm-hmm. Teaching the kids how to do certain things and stuff like that. So
yeah, so homeschooling not only has taught me patience, but it's actually taught like our kids to be patient as well, like with us and with each other. And no, they're not perfect, and they fight every day. But
so do I teach the actual curriculum? No, not necessarily, but there's a lot more training that goes into life skills than just being in a book as well.
Right. Question number 7. What role do you play in homeschooling, and how do you support your wife? Well, he's the bank account. But yeah, how do you support your wife? He is supportive because he agrees with me, I guess. And if I'm having trouble with one of the kids, I won't name names, but someone who is very strong-willed, and there are days that it's hard, he will have a talk with that child, and that really helps. Like, am I being too vague? Like,
no, I think there'll be sometimes too where she's struggling with something when it comes to a kid, and then I'll come in and I'll help maybe show a different way for that child to learn that, and that'll really help.
Right, I wasn't even thinking about that. Like with Briella's math, like, so he was able to like figure out how to teach our daughter a math concept that I couldn't get her to figure out. And he like realized her learning style or whatever. I don't know how to talk, so yeah.
The concept is everybody learns differently. Some people learn, by sight. Some people learn by reading. There's always an avenue to get somebody to the goal. You just have to learn how to navigate them there.
And he supports me by helping me with that when I can't do it.
And I don't know how many times I've came home and she's had a super rough day, and I'll take care of dinner or something like that. That's
true. He'll make dinner if I've had a bad day, or he'll just bring home dinner, so I don't have to cook. He's very understanding when the house is always a crazy disaster.
I used to not be, but I've just kind of accepted it.
He's learned. Yeah. He lets me text him 50 times a day. He lets me call him just to be like, hi, babe. And he's like, hey, babe. And I always say, what are you doing? And he always says, working. And I know how the conversation's gonna go, but I just have to call him and like talk to an adult sometimes, and like step away from the kids and just talk to him, and he always answers the phone. And
do I always answer the phone?
Usually, yeah.
He
does not answer text.
She lets me text her once for every 50 text messages she sends. It doesn't get upset. So that's nice.
I just know he doesn't respond to text, but I text him nonstop all day anyway. I just do. I don't know. I don't expect a response because I know he doesn't respond to them.
And then when I don't hear from her, like if I don't get a text message for like 6 hours, like I'll be like, what's going on with Jill? Why haven't I heard from her? But when she's text messaging me, normally I'm just ignoring it.
No, you read it. You just don't respond.
But if I don't hear from her, it's like, oh, what's going on?
And then, like, I always feel really special when I get, like, an LOL, like, back. I'm like, oh, wow. Okay, so.
I think we got off subject.
Probably. No, you're supporting me by.
Texting LOL?
By letting me, like, just, You're not like, babe, I really can't answer text, so if you would, lay off the texting. Like, you let me do what I need to do. Okay, question number 8. Would you ever put your children in public school?
I mean, there's always circumstances that come up where we may be forced to. I don't know, but I mean, everything in me would do everything I could to not have to put the kids in public school, even if that meant selling our home, moving to something smaller. If I had to work 2 jobs to make ends meet, that's how important it is to us to homeschool. So.
And if I had to work, would you homeschool?
Whoa!
That's a bonus question.
Well, what would that, where I would be a stay-at-home dad? Well, what is the scenario there?
Sure, I don't know. Like, say like something happened and you had like a disability and you couldn't go to work anymore, and then I was like a hairstylist again. Would you homeschool?
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good. That'd be kind of nice. Minus like you getting hurt.
What if you had to like?
Actually, no, I don't want to go back to work. No, I never want to work again. Babe, you also support me by watching every single YouTube video.
Giving you a thumbs up.
Giving me a thumbs up, commenting sometimes. So, number 10, what would you say to the man who is unsure or on the fence about homeschooling? Like, say a wife really wants to homeschool her kids, but her husband is just not sure and not ready to commit or whatever.
I think there's really 2 driving factors for that. One would be is he thinks that their child might not get as good of an education. And then the second one would be he doesn't want to give up materialistic things, which is another income. The first one...
Or socialization, or like all the myths, all the homeschooling
right,
myths.
I guess, yeah, your kid's going to be an introvert if they're not around a bunch of other kids all the time or something like that. So I guess there's 3 subjects there, and you're going to have to help me remember all those. But the first one would be not getting as good of education. I'd say that is incorrect. As we talked about earlier, a child really has the ability to excel in homeschool. We also have friends, too, they homeschooled their children all through high school. Now their kids are off to college. If your child's education is important to you, then your child will excel. If your child's education is not important to you, then I think, by nature at that point, your child's maybe lacking thereof. So as long as you're willing and committed, I think homeschool is a great option and is a great education. The second one is wanting to give up materialistic things. So I think every father would say, I would give my life for my child. But a lot of fathers aren't even willing to give up their time or their things for their children. To slash your income in half, or to slash your income by 1/3 and be struggling and not being able to go out and do things, not golfing, downsizing your house or whatever that is. I mean, that's a sacrifice for the most important thing in the world that you have is your children. And I think a lot of people aren't willing to give that up. I mean, there's a time period where when our budget was
nothing.
Yeah, I realize I'm categorizing a lot of fathers when I say that, but I think that is something that a lot of people are afraid of, is not having that other income source.
And we were afraid of that too. I mean, it took him a long time to finally let me quit.
And so you could group me into that as well, but another aspect of it is maybe that security also. So maybe it's not just a materialistic thing. It could be a security of having that second income and knowing that things will be okay.
For you, it was security. Right. It wasn't materialist.
And not having things so tight, because it is nerve-wracking. Like, man, if I get sick and I miss a day and I don't have any sick time, we're not going to be able to pay the bills this month. I mean, that's how tight things were for a while.
Socialization.
Socially
awkward. Your kids are going to be socially awkward.
So I have 3 cousins that were homeschooled for a portion of their life, and
brothers and sisters, yeah. And then one of the cousins is an introvert. He's the middle child.
He's an introvert, but if they're watching this, they're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. And his sisters are extroverts. And, he's kind of pinpointed as, he thinks he's maybe an introvert because he didn't have that social interaction for a long time. But keep in mind, that is also categorizing the personality type of an introvert as maybe something negative, which I don't think it is at all.
We are.
It's just your personality. It's the way you're wired. It's the way God made you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Some of the greatest, most brilliant minds in the world, those people are introverts.
Yes.
So I don't think it has anything to do with homeschool. I just think it's his personality type. If that was the case, how could his younger and older sister both be extroverts? But yeah, I think it's great for kids to be around other kids and have time to play and stuff like that too. That's why you just got to pump out like 5 kids. And that was something too that we kind of juggled. Do we want to have kids spread apart? Do we want to have them close together? We weren't really sure, and it just so happened.
They just all kept.
It just kind of happened.
Coming.
I mean, we haven't figured out why that happens, but it did, and we found that it's actually been pretty awesome to have the kids all close together because they're all growing up together. They're so tight.
They are best friends.
They're like a bunch of little best friends. I mean, Lawson's 4 years older than Cade, and just that age gap there
it's harder.
He already enjoys hanging out with the adults more than he likes hanging out with the kid 4 years younger than him. So, So that's already quite an age gap right there, 4 years. So So we recommend pumping them out now.
Every 2 years.
I don't even remember what the question was now.
What would you say to the dad who is on the fence about homeschooling?
Get off the fence. Homeschool. Plus all those other reasons.
Do it. Yeah. Just do it. Right?
Do it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Hit the like button. We'll see you later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Bye. Oogity boogity. Yeah. Say it again.
No.
Yes.
No.
Please.
No.
Gosh. Okay. So. I'm just going to delete this out.
I just wanted to point out my broken nose.
Okay, and I'm going to delete all of that out.
Why?
I would not put that in there.
I'm trying to make you feel better about your shark tooth.
Why would I want...
Everybody sees it. Let's talk about it.
Stop.
Okay. She's a party pooper. What?
Stop.
Okay. What?
Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay. So. How'd you know what I was going to say?